All right, welcome to Mr. Levy's math room. And today we are going to be looking at fractions. All right, now who can tell me what a fraction is? Good. So a fraction we say is a part of a whole. Now let's say I have an orange and I peel the orange and I cut my orange. Right? Now if I cut my orange in two equal parts, then we say I have two halves. All right? Now let's say, well, I know that many of you might like pizza. Now, let's say I have a pizza. All right, I have a pizza. This is my pizza. Hope you can see that. All right, and if I divide my pizza into 8 parts, da da. All right, so that 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 8 parts. Now, if I divide the pizza into 8 equal parts, right? So I have 8 parts. So this part will be 1 out of 8, 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 and 1 out of 8. There we have it. Alright? So now I have my pizza is divided into 8 equal parts. Good? Now, if you notice, one part is 1/8, and we call that one unit part. Alright? So a unit part then would be, we say 1/8. Alright? So that's 1/8. Alright? Now, let's say I we are having a party, right? We're having a pizza party, and some of our friends came, yeah, they came late, and so we ate 6 slices of the pizza. Alright, so I'll take out 6 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright? If I take out 6 slices of the pizza, so I'm taking out that, let's call that 1/8, another 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more 1/8. Now, how many 1/8s do I have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So what would you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will make what? 6/8. Right? So we would have eaten 6 slices of the pizza. And that would mean that we would have eaten 6 out of the 8 slices. Now, if we have eaten 8 slices and our two friends who were late for some reason, right? So they came, we have how many slices? They 1, 2. And if you notice, well, they're supposed to be equal slices. But this one looks bigger, right? Alright. So it means that we have how many left? After we take out 6, we have 1, 2. Right? So we have 1/8 plus another 1/8. And that makes what? 2/8, right? So that's 2/8. 2/8 slices, right? Now, if you notice that all of the numbers at the top, they are what? They are common, right? All the numbers at the bottom, they are also common. Good? Now, let's look at what we call those numbers. All right. So, let's say we have this fraction, so we have 3/8, right? So we have 3/8, now we call it 3/8, because what is 3 out of the 8. Now when we had the pizza, how many slices did we have? We had 8 slices, right? So the whole pizza was made up of 8 slices. Good? And one part we say is 1/8. Good. So let's say I have this fraction here. So we have 3/8. Now this number at the top, we call it the numerator, right? So we call that the numerator, right? The one number at the bottom, we call that the denominator, right? So we have the numerator, the number at the top. or the numeral at the top, and the denominator, the numeral at the bottom. Alright? Now this we call it a dividing line. Alright? We can call it that. Okay. Alright? So we have the numerator. Now the denominator tells us how many parts the whole is divided into. Good? So the denominator, remember, tells us how many parts the whole is divided into. So if I have a tray of eggs, let's say the tray of eggs has it has 12 eggs. The tray has 12 eggs. Now, so I would say the denominator for that tray of eggs would be 12. Now, if I took out of that tray of eggs 5 of those eggs, then that would give me 5 out of 12. Right? So it will be 5 out of, I've taken 5 eggs out of the 12, because the 12 represent the whole. Good? And the 5 represent the number we are talking about, the number we are taking out, the number we are giving, and so on. Alright? So remember that. So we have the numerator, the number at the top of the line, and then the number at the bottom is the denominator. Good? Good. So we have the numerator, the number, there are the numeral at the top, and we have the denominator, which is the numeral at the bottom of the fraction. Good. So there we have a fraction. So remember we say a fraction is a part of a whole. Good. So if we have, let's say your class has 15 students, 7 of them are boys and 8 are girls. Right? 7 and 8 makes 15. Good. 7 to 14 and 1 is 15. So you have 8 girls, 7 boys. Right? So the denominator would be the whole, the total number of students in the class. Right? And then the numerator now, the numerator would be, let's say we are talking about the boys. Right? So the boys as a fraction of the girls. So it would be 7 out of 50. So the boys as a fraction of the class. So it would be 7 out of 15. Since we have what? 15 students in total. Right? So the total or the whole would be the number of students in the class. Alright? Good. Alright, so there we have it. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat and we will address those for you. Alright? So let's go back. So we have our numerator, we have our denominator. Right? Now we have the unit parts. The unit parts is like one part out of whatever the whole is. So if we have, let's say we have this is a bread, right? So this is a bread, and this bread, I'm dividing this bread for 5 hungry belly children, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slices. No, that doesn't look like they're equal, alright? Good. Better. So since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts, right? This bread we cut it up in 5 slices, alright? Now, now one slice or one part would be 1 over 5, right? Now why is it 1 over 5? Because we say the bread is divided into 5 equal parts, right? Good? So the 5 represents the whole. Good? Now the 1 up here represents 1 part of the whole. Good? Is that clear? Good. So this would be another 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. Now if I take out 2 parts, that would make what? So I take out these 2 parts. Right? So I would have taken out how many fifths? How many fifths would I have taken out? Good. 2/5. That would be 2/5. That's equal to 1/5 plus another 1/5, right? So that's 2/5 equal 1/5 plus another 1/5. Now let's say I'm giving away another 2/5, right? So if I give away 2/5 plus this 2/5, now I would have given away 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And that would make what? 1, 2, 3, 4/5, right? So we say 4/5. Good? Right, so now we have our fractions. Now, what is the remaining? So if I have the whole, the entire bread is divided into five slices or 5 parts. And if I've given away 4 out of the 5, what do I have left? Right? Now I would have 1. So see it here? That's it. So I have 1/5. Good. Clear? Good. So we have our numerator, which is the number at the top of the line, and we have the denominator, which is the number at the bottom. Good. Is that clear? Good. Awesome. All right. So there we have that. All right. Now we have different types of fractions. So they say you have proper fractions and we have improper fractions. Right? Now let's look at those two and see what they're saying. Now what do you think proper fractions are? And what do you think improper fractions are? And why they call them improper fractions? Alright, let's see. Alright, now let's say we have 2/3. Alright? Now generally, alright, let me just put this on the board. So we have 2/3. I'm going to write a number of fractions. 2/3, 1/8, 4/7. Right? Now let's look at these and let's call the fractions. Right? So we have 2/3, we have 1/8, and we have 4/7. Good? Alright. Now we have 2/3. Now you hear what it says, 2/3. Now, what does that tell us? The denominator tells us the number of parts the whole is divided into. Right? And we hear thirds. Good? So it means that the whole is divided into 3 parts. Good? And we are taking out 2 parts. Awesome? Right. Now this one is 1/8. 1/8 meaning that the whole is divided into 8 parts. Alright? So the whole is divided into 8 parts, and we are taking out 1 part of that 8 whole. Well, not the 8 whole. The whole is divided into 8 parts. Good? Alright. So if the whole is divided into 8 parts, we are taking out 1 part of the 8 parts, so that is 1/8. Right? So if you notice, the denominator basically gives the fraction its name, and then we have 4/7. Right? Meaning the whole had 7 parts, and we are taking out 4 parts of that 7. Right? Now these fractions here, what do you notice with them? What's the relationship between the numerator and the denominator? Anybody? Okay, you can just put your answer in the chat. So if we notice, the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Right? Same thing for this one. The numerator is smaller than the denominator. Same thing for this one again. The numerator is smaller than the denominator. Good? Awesome. So, we say these fractions are proper fractions. Right? We say they are proper fractions. Alright. So we have our numerator, our fraction line, and the denominator. Numerator smaller than denominator, then we say it is a improper fraction. Alright? Now, what do you think an improper fraction is? I'll give you a second to think about it. Put your answer in the chat. Alright. So, then, an improper fraction. Now look at this. So we have 4/3. We have 5/4. And we have 6/5. Right? Now notice in this case that the what? The numerator is larger than the denominators, right? So we have 4/3, 5/4, 6/5, right? So the numerator is bigger than the denominator in this case. So we say these, we call them proper, P-R-O-P-E-R, fractions. And these, we say they are improper fractions. Now, generally, fractions are written in their lowest terms, right? Now, generally, fractions, we say fractions are written in their lowest terms or their smallest term, right? So, let me just get something here. All right, so again, so notice that the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so we can get one whole out of this, right? We can get another whole out of this. So if we say we simplify it, we are going to do what? We are going to divide. We are going to divide 4 by 3, right? So we say how many times we can get 3 out of 4. So we can get 3 out of 4 one time, right? And what is left? 1 is left. Same thing for here. So we have 5/4. How many times can we get 4 out of 5? We can get 4 out of 5 one time and 1 is left. Same thing for 6/5. We can get 5 out of 6 one time and what is left? 1. Good. So this fraction would make 1 whole and 1/5. Right? That's like saying you have a pizza. In this case, you would have 1 whole of pizza and then you have another piece of pizza. Huh? Good. Then for this one, it will be the same thing. So you have 1 and 1/4. This is 1 and 1/3. That's 1 and 1/3, 1 and 1/4. Now, why do we call it a quarter? Right? Because, okay, look. So we have this box, and if I cut this box in 4, right? How many parts we have? 1, 2, hold on, hold on. So we have, let's put it right here, that. Right. So we have 4 pieces, right? So if we have 4 pieces, now this one will be 1 out of what? Awesome. So that's 1 out of 4. Then this part would also be 1 out of 4. This 2 will be 1 out of 4. This will be 1 out of 4. Good. So this one piece here would be a quarter. Now it's called a quarter because the whole is divided into 4 parts. Good. So it's called a quarter. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter. Now fifths would be what? Because the whole would be divided into 5 parts. Good? Alright. So just remember those, right? Those basic things. So we have proper fractions, we have improper fractions, right? So in an improper fraction, it means that the number, right, the numerator is bigger than the denominator, and so it means you can get a whole out of it, at least one whole, and some left, right? Now, let's see. Let's see what we're going to be moving on to. Okay, now let me just this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So this bread is divided into 7 parts. Now the parts that are shaded, how many parts are shaded? Let's count them. So this will be what? 1 unit part will be 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, right? And the unshaded part would be 1/7, 1/7, 1/7. So how many parts are shaded? We can count them 1, 2, 3, 4. So we say that is what fraction would that be? 4 out of 7. And we say that's 4/7. Right? Same thing for here. We have 3 parts unshaded, so that would be 3/7 or 3 out of 7. Alright? We're going to stop right there for today. And then in our next class, we are going to be looking at equivalent fractions. Good? So we're going to be looking at equivalent fractions. Right? So I want you to go read up on equivalent fractions, and then just remind yourselves of what fractions are. We say fractions are part of a whole. We say fractions have denominator, they have numerator. The denominator tells us how many parts the whole is divided into, and the numerator tells us the number of parts in question, whether you're going to give them away, whether you're going to eat them, or whether you're going to keep them. Good? So, what I want you to do is go subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell so that you never miss another one of these classes. Alright? And share the video with your friends. Alright? So I'll see you in the next class. Love you. God bless you. Take care.